Okay, so
Yeah.
again, one of the very typical question is, what about choice? But let's just say, if you feel like you have choice, then exert it. Do the next right thing, yeah? What you're attempting to bring to an understanding doesn't really have much say. The little voice box is just doing what it's told to do, in a sense. The conditional impulses are occurring and it's being moved. It's like that kid in the ride in Disney World where they're all sitting in the boat and they all have their own wheel and they all thinking they're driving, but there's a guy in a booth in the back with a computer running the whole show. There's a big bar underneath that's taking the boat wherever it's going, but everyone on the boat thinks it's making the move, staying away from the hippo and getting away from the crocodile, yes? And they have this story going on that they're doing something. But if you took the picture back more, you would see the guy in the room with the computer with a picture of the boat running it with the bar on it, yeah? So in a sense, this idea of choice, I never even get into it. I just say, hey, if you feel like you have it, then do the next right thing. You know what I mean? I don't see there's any conflict. There could be a feel of choice in a dream, yeah? It would make it interesting. But does it have is it a real determining fact? I don't know. You know? I would say, who's the chooser? You know? But a lot of people talk to me about that one, and I just say, hey, if you feel like you have it, exert it. Do the next right thing. See how it works. It's about its claim to power. I could have done something differently, yes? I should have done something differently.
Yeah,
So and then it has feelings of what it's omitted and committed, because this is the mental storm. This is the mental story. It can't grow in what's actually happening. It has to have wild assumptions to grow its incredible impossibilities. Like, I could be somewhere other than where I am and stuff. Yeah? That assumption gets in place and then it riffs quite a lot. You cannot believe, let's say it has 5 big assumptions. It has choice, let's say. It could be somewhere other than that. I could have done something different than I did. Whatever, you know. And then you cannot believe how much mental activity, yes, and emotional sensations have been based on those assumptions. I mean, tons of recollections and, let's say, regrets and if only, I should have, what ifs, yeah? Tons of corridors of just mental fantasy. So that, and all it does is suck interest and attention away from what's actually happening, basically. So you're not reacting or responding to what's happening, you're reacting to an insane impossibility that it could be different, yeah? That it should be different. The mental activity never really wants to land in what's so, because that would immediately negate its so-ness, yeah? It never wants to really just drop in here, because its irrelevance would be shown very clearly, yeah? That's why when you have peak experiences and everything like that, there's such a thorough absence of what was never there to begin with. There's such a great relief, yeah? That as soon as that experience can be claimed, or that event can be claimed, the mental process is just chomping at the bit to get in there and go, I had the peak experience. It has to cover its tracks, yeah? That's why it claims everything. So it takes this time now, seemingly, let's say this moment, or a moment, or the moment, and it uses it to preoccupy itself, the mental activity, not you, but it seems to represent us in its story. It tends to use this moment to occupy itself with what's not happening, yeah? With there and then, because it's only in there and then that it can appear to be so, yeah? It's only in there and then that it can be remembered to be here now. I'm telling you, the logic is, hey, I was here, I will be here, therefore I am here. That's what it does, yeah? It can't get I am here, because there's really no evidence shouting that out right now. It goes, I was here, yeah, thought all about when I was here, those moments, those days, those years, those situations I was here, those some situations I wish I wasn't there, but I was there. And then it speculates what's going to happen when I will be there. And in the wasing there and willing there, it gets to be remembered now. Yeah? Because what isn't so has to be remembered. Because it isn't so. Yeah? It's not emitting anything of its own nature. Yeah? It's an appearance, it's a hallucination, it's an assumption, an inference. It's never so. So it has to be remembered. That's why, like they say in St. Francis and these people say, it's in self-forgetting. Yeah? It's in the study of Buddhism, it's the study of the self. The study of the self is to forget the self. All of these things is just that. Why do you need to forget the self? Because it's being remembered, that's all. Yeah? It's a dualistic movement. The antidote to remembering it is to forget it. And then there's a neutrality, that's the real sense. But in a way, you don't go from the remembrance to the neutrality. You go from the remembrance of self to the forgetting of self, and then there's the neutrality of presence, yeah? And then you realize, Jesus, I am not that. I'm not the remembrance of it, and I'm actually not even the forgetting of it.